Hey everybody, so I built up this wheel Chris King style, which, I'm just calling it that because, I just placed the key spoke in a different spot. So anyways, I laced this wheel up Chris King style, and now I'm going to tension and true it. It's a really big file, and it's kind of a long video, so I'm not going to say to tune out, but I'm only going to voice it because it turns into a really huge file, if I, put the little circle of my face in there, and, it's a little too much work, and I really want you guys to focus on what I'm actually doing and, not my beautiful face. Okay, so, let's get to it and, enjoy. Maybe we'll all learn something. Okay, so here we go. I got it in the stand, and, it's a WTB rim. And we have a Shimano M475 hub. And, the spokes are used, but still, they're the right length. And we're just going to see how well I did here. So one of the first things we want to do is make sure we know where the valve hole is. So right here. And yeah, one thing I didn't show here is I basically placed all the spoke threads at the bottom of the nipples. All the way around. So they're all at relatively the same spot. So it's like we're starting tensioning at, an equal area. And you can see right there, I did a really good job. And these rims here, they were a little bit on the eggy side too. So, I'm pretty impressed here. So I'm just going to close up the caliper arms. And you can see it's not really that bad. And this is always the way that I do it here, okay? I always place the rim inside of the caliper arms there. So you kind of get to gauge the radial true as well as the lateral true. There we go. I'm just making sure I get it in the right spot. And it's really not that bad at all. These are just going to be tiny fixes here. So, we'll just move on over to this different view that I'm going to try here. I've tried this before. It's kind of like a multi-view, but nobody watched it, so I'm just going to try it again. And, maybe this time people will watch. So all I'm doing here is I'm just finding the offending spoke. So you can see here that it's touching to the right of the caliper arm. So I guess what I want to do... So what I want to do is find the, the offending spoke. And I'm just going to loosen it off on the right side. And what I chose to do here was loosen off another spoke on the right side. And of course, the right side is going to be the drive side. Usually in my videos, you can pretty much tell that, you can pretty much guarantee that the right side is going to be the drive side. And of course, I'm going to check with my fingers just to see what the tension's like. And I'm going to move over to the left side, which is the non-drive side, the disc side, and I'm going to tighten it up there. And this is what we always want to do, right? We always want to try to tighten as best we can, or as much as we can on the disc side, because there's always going to be less tension than on the drive side. There. I did a little comparison there of the drive side and the non-drive side tension. You can see there's a teeny little bit more tension on the drive side than the non-drive side. And here we go. We're sort of fixing it. And like I said, this is going to be a bit of a longer video, but I did it really slow so that you could see exactly what I'm doing here. So I'm always going to check the tension with my fingers. That's just something I've developed over time. And we're going to tighten up on the non-drive side, so the disc side, and we're going to loosen on the drive side. There we go. Just kind of check as we go. Again, we'll tighten up a little on the non-drive side. So again, the disc side, and then we'll loosen off a little bit on the drive side. And now, I don't know always how it's going to turn out. So sometimes I'm going to add, a half half turn of tension. Sometimes I'll add a full turn of tension. And really all I'm doing is I'm doing that what I think it should be. Like right there, I just added 1 full turn of tension on the non-disc side. Sorry, on the disc side. And then just see where we're at here. And a little bit on the drive side. You can see that it's slowly moving over from the right over to the left. And that's all we want to do, is just small increments. Here we go, like a full turn on the disc side. And you can see it's getting better and better every single time. Okay, so I'm just adjusting the caliper. I just adjusted the caliper arm there, so it's like the margins are getting smaller. So I want to make sure that I'm always keeping it at a spot that I can gauge where I am on the truing. So I'm just kind of indicating to drop the tension a little bit. The way we do that is just check it here first, just to make sure. You can see there's a bit of rub, so I was in the wrong spot. So I'm going to change over here. I'm going to grab these from that spoke all the way to that first spoke, and I'm going to bring the tension up. So here we go. I'm going to bring the tension up on every spoke. The same amount. So here we go. I did 1 full turn. Again, 1 full turn all the way around till I get to that first spoke that you saw earlier. And I said I was in the wrong spot, but really I was just kind of gauging how many spokes I needed to fix up. So basically raise the tension on. Okay, so there we go. That was the small bit that I wanted to true, and it worked out pretty good. It worked out pretty well. So I'm just going to find the next offending spot here, which is over near the valve hole, and those are always going to be the problem areas, especially on this rim because it's a little bit eggy, just to begin with. And what I'm going to do there is just tighten it up. And you can see there that basically what I'm doing is I'm showing that there's some radial rub still. And the only way to fix that in this particular case is to raise the tension, like I just indicated there. Okay. There we go. I'll just find my offending spoke here. Raise the tension up. I did a full turn there. And I'll just keep checking. You just keep going slowly, and it needed another half turn there. And on the disc side here, another half turn. Another full turn on the disc side there. You can see, you just keep checking, right? You make your small incremental changes, whatever it is that you need to do. So whether it be tensioning or releasing tension. You can see there that the rim has moved over to the left a little more, but maybe I've overdone it just a tad there. So again, like I'm always going to try to do my radial truing first, and sometimes doing the radial truing first will actually correct any of the lateral truing issues that are present right at the beginning. There we go. I tried to fix the that little gimp on the disc side, so on the left side, by tightening up on the drive side, so the right side. And I was having a bit of a problem there. I indicated the weld. And, you know, there's still a bit of gimping going on over on the left side. So that particular spoke there I'm pointing at, and I'm just going to tighten her up. And now I'm doing it one-handed, right? You would do it two-handed, but, you know, I'm doing it one-handed because, you know, I'm filming it, so I want you to see. It also shows you how easy it actually is. There we go. I'm just going to release a little tension off of the left side. And there, you can see that it's really prolonged on the right side, the kind of even tension. And then all of a sudden it juts out to the left side. So now we know exactly what we want to fix. And the way I'm doing it here is I'm just going to tighten up on the right side. There, you can see it's actually getting very, very even, but there's still a little bit of jutting. So a little bit of gimping over on the left side, and we just have to find a offending spoke. And I've deemed the left side spoke to be the problem, and what I did here is I'm tightening it up, and then I'm tightening up the drive side just a little bit more, so the right side. And really what I'm doing is I'm kind of I'm layering here, okay? So I'm trying to fix that gimp on the left side laterally, but I'm also trying to fix the gimp that you can't really see radially. So this is where, you know, it's a little bit more advanced, what I'm showing you here. And, you know, it's good to know, but you really should take your time and learn how to do it, you know, correctly. Like the fundamental way. And now you can see there's still that little bit of a gimp there, jutting out to the left. So I'm just going to keep working at it. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just loosening off a little bit on the left side and tightening a little bit, if needed, on the right side. And there you can see that it's pulling over to the right side really well, and then there's going to be that little jut, right? So the way we fix that is we're just going to tighten up a little bit so that we fix our radial here. So the way we fix that is I'm just going to tighten up on the left side because it's over just a little too much onto the right side, which basically it's kind of like fixing the dish before checking the dish. So it's like you're doing three things at once, right? Your radial truing, your lateral truing, and you're kind of getting the dish all at the same time. And that's what I mean by it's a little bit more advanced. You just kind of have to know your truing stand and where the rim would sit in the truing stand, you know, to indicate the dish. And you can see that nipple. It's pretty much gotten eaten up there. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to have to change that. Because there's no way that I can... there's absolutely no way that I can proceed with that. So there we go. I've changed it, and... you can see there that it's a little bit over on the left side there. So what I'm going to do is tighten up on the right side and try to get that rim over, to get that gimp out. Now, I know it looks kind of different here in the between the caliper arms, but that's because it kind of changed, right? Because I had to change that nipple, and then I had to kind of redo the tension. So at this point, we're here, and this is the way I'm going to show you to fix it. So it looks pretty clean, right? There's a little bit of radial rub again. So I'm indicating here to just raise the tension a little bit. What we're trying to do is raise the tension on the right side to bring the rim over to the right side. So essentially what happened is I changed the spoke nipple and it kind of threw the whole wheel, off, right? So in a way it's kind of like starting over, but it's really not. So here, just indicated, I'm just gonna tighten up on the right side still. And then we just check, right? Just kind of like micro checks. And again, I've said this before, this is basically what bike shops are talking about when they say that they're going to build the tension slowly. Like, you're always building the tension. Every time you turn the spokes, you're always building the tension up. Every time you true, every time you tighten up the nipples, and, you know, like, it's slow. This is a pretty long video, so this is kind of the way it would be. Now, I'm taking a little longer simply because I'm trying to show you guys how to do it. Otherwise, I would just do it, and, you know, it'd probably take like half the time, to be honest. And again, it's just a bunch of basically analyzing and, you know, figuring out how to fix any of the imperfections. And you can see there, it's getting really nice, but there's a bit of it's kind of a long wave, and I'm going to want to fix that. And here, again, there's a bit of a radial rub, and it's because of the joint on the rim. And again, like I said, this was kind of an eggy rim to begin with, so, you know, it's not going to be perfect. So there we go. Now, like, I'm taking my time here because these are really small radial rubs. So, and again, like, you can see the joint there. So it's sort of fine-tuning at this particular point. And there you can see that the little bit of the gimp there, and it means that we've made a lot of progress, right? So I'm going to fix this one here by tightening up the right side, which is a drive side. If I can get the spoke, if I can get the spoke wrench on there. So I'm going to go with a half turn. And I'm going to release some tension, just like a quarter turn, and a quarter turn on the left side, which still wasn't enough, but again, we want to do it slowly, right? We want to learn how much tension is going to move this particular rim at this particular time over one way or the other. So here, I'm just fixing a bit of a radial gimp, which can happen, right? Because, you know, if you're releasing tension here, it can drop the rim down, and then you have to fix that, right? And when it drops the rim down, it's basically like a dip. And luckily enough, I haven't had too many hops, so that's good. So I'm just going to tighten up a little bit more on the non-drive side, so the disc side. And sometimes that's all you need to do, is just bring the tension up on one side, and if needed, then bring it up on the other side. So you can see here I did that, and I'm bringing up the tension actually a lot more on the non-drive side. And that's actually where I changed the nipple on that, like that broken nipple, that sheared nipple. And it's what was causing the problem, right? So really, that one was a problem. I want to bring the tension up on that one. And what it made it look like was I needed to maybe release tension off of another spoke on the left side, and that would be incorrect, right? So it's always a matter of just trying to figure out what to do in every particular circumstance. It's almost like you're putting out a fire and then starting another one. And it really is kind of true. It's kind of like what forest fires are. And all you got to do is just be, the right type of firefighter and understand like where the wind's going to blow the sparks and where the next fire is going to start. So then you can kind of attack it in that way. And you can see here, we're getting really close to done, right? Like that's looking really good. That's just the tiniest little GIMP pushing over or jutting over to the disk side. And again, like it looks like I should lower tension on the disk side, but what I did is I tightened up one of the looser spokes, and then I'm just going to fix it in that way because, again, like this isn't the noob channel. It's not really like a noob video, okay? I'm trying to show you here how you can do many things at once. So you're layering, right? It's literally like multitasking to get this done as quickly as possible, which I can't do because I'm showing you guys. So I'm having that problem again, and I'm just going to tighten up on the drive side, and then see where we're at. And still, there's still that little bit of GIMP, but even at this point, right, it's actually quite acceptable. I've seen many a person ride on wheels that are trued worse than this. There we go. Just add a little tension, because again, like when you're dropping tension on one side, it can cause a radial rub. So, a dip in the rim. And of course, like this is essentially like a customization here because this rim is kind of eggy. I have to drop a little bit, add a little bit, drop a little bit, and you can see what it does, right? Now, the rim on the left side is touching the indicator, and what I'm going to do here is tighten up on the right side and then loosen on the left side, right? Because I feel I have enough tension going on the disc side. So there we go. You can see how that really fixed it up quite nicely, actually. But still, we have to drop a little tension. So there we go. I feel that the tension is right on the drive side, and probably the best way to fix this GIMP here is to drop the tension on the left side, but I just want to show you here where we're at, right? So it's touching a little bit, and we just got to find whatever spoke is offending here. And in this case, it might actually be more than one. So I'm going to tighten up on the drive side, and we'll see if that works, right? Because we only want to do as much as we need to do. We don't want to do too much. Because then we just cause more problems for ourselves in the future, in the immediate future. All right. So I didn't like what I did there, so I just put it back to where it was. And we'll try this spoke out here. We'll loosen a little and then add a little on the right side. And still, we're getting that GIMP there, right? So it's quite a prolonged GIMP. There. So what I want to do here is loosen off a little where I see that jutting over to the right side. And then lower the tension a little bit. Sorry, raise the tension a little bit on the left side. And you can see there, like we're localizing the problem, right? Like there's a good jut, and then we just got to fix that. And I feel loosening off a little bit here is going to be the fix. Now, am I right? I never really know. That's why I do it, and I just remember what I do. So I guess I have a decent enough memory, like short-term memory, that I can kind of figure it out. But, you know, we just gotta kind of have to keep going over it over and over. And that's why I spin the wheel a million times after, because you fix it here, but you just cause a problem over there. So you're constantly adjusting and then readjusting to fix your adjustments. There we go. Just tighten it up a little bit. All right, and there's a bit of a jut there to the right. Okay. And I'm going to fix that by tightening just a half turn. Again, there's still that jut to the right, but it's getting better, okay? And that's all we can do. Like, the best we can do is just try to make everything as good as possible and, you know, again, like, just start over. It's almost as if you're starting over every single time. So I'm going to loosen a little bit and see where we're at, because, you know, as you can see here, it's starting to move over to the right a lot more, and that's because I'm also trying to dish the wheel properly. Because whenever you see the rim like literally touching for a long period of time on one side, it means the dish is off, especially between my caliper arms, because I know my truing stand and I know what I have to do to get it to where I need it. It's going to be pretty darn close most of the time. There we go. I'm just going to do some more tightening here because there's a bit of a radial rub, so teeny bit of a dip. Just going to add a little more tension. There. There's just going to be a little too much over on the left side, and I need to just pull the rim over to the right side. So I'm just going to add a little bit of tension on the left side. Well, I guess that was my fix. I'm trying to bring it over to the left side a little more. So that would mean I would loosen a little bit on the right side and see where we're at. There's still that jut there. And I noticed this about this rim that, you know, and it's probably because it wasn't perfectly true. Like, it's not it wasn't a perfect circle. So there's always going to be these like little bits, these little problems. And that's probably why it took so long. Aside from the fact that, you know, I'm filming it, right? So I'm just going to tighten it up on the right side here. Just a little, just a half turn. There, you can see it's actually getting a lot better. Just that little bit of a jut there. So I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to check my dish, right? Before I get too far, make everything perfect, I want to do my dish and just see where I'm at. And of course, I'm not going to show it, but you know, I'm not going to show it, but I relieve the tension on the wheel many times. Okay, so we know that the dish is off just a little bit there. And back in the stand, I'm just going to show you what I did to dish it. And you don't really need much. So, you know, rule of thumb here, find your valve hole so you know where you're starting. And we want to dish over to the left side, so the dish side. What we're going to do is basically one turn all the way around. And I think I'm just going to do it half turns here. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm just going to do it half turns all the way around, and then probably de-stress it, and then do it again, half turns all the way around. And that will equal one full turn on the dish side. And that should fix the dish. And again, you know, like, I know what I'm doing here, and you saw me, like, I was trying to show you how to dish as you're laterally and radially truing, so that it kind of cuts out steps, but even then, it's never perfect. So, you always have to go through all the steps, but it's just that much less, right? I don't want to have to put two or three turns and on one side or the other, especially if I have to dish over to the drive side, because it's too much. It's too much and it takes too long, because, like, look how long it's taking me to do this. Just like half turns all the way around. So there we go. I didn't show the other half turn there. I'm just going to go right back to the split view, and you can see the wheel, like it's actually really good. There's that teeny little gimp there over on the right side, and you know that's nothing. That's that's literally like noob stuff, right? You know, like you would either tighten on one side or loosen on the other. So there you have it. I'm not going to show you the tensioning because, like I said, you know, in a way it's kind of like a customized tension job because the rim was eggy to begin with, so the tension's not going to be perfect. And I don't mind living with that. It's okay. I want to use up this stuff, and, you know, otherwise it would have just gone in the trash, right? And then I would have used it up anyway. So there's a thumbs up. You couldn't see it, but whatever. And, you know, it's all good. Okay, so there you have it. I laced up this wheel before in another video, and now I've tension and trued it for you, and there you go. You know, it's a little bit off still at the end, but you know that's kind of like rookie easy. You're not really watching my stuff because you're new and you're trying to actually learn how to do this. Like everything I'm doing here is a little more advanced, so you know, like. You watch my stuff to see how good you can do it, but you still got to go and find those new videos and to help you out and, you know, really learn like the fundamentals of the truing and tensioning. So, anyways, if you made it this far, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And if there's anything that you wanted me to do a little bit differently, or maybe something that I glossed over and, you know, you wanted to see in a little more detail or something like that, just let me know. And, you know, maybe I'll make a short or something like that for you. And, you know, maybe it'll keep you watching. Okay, so again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.